We live in a world that is completely obsessed with hustle, right? But what if the real key to wealth wasn't about chasing it harder, but about attracting it? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating, counterintuitive idea that the secret to getting more might actually be found in doing less.
So, does this feel a little too familiar? You're putting in the hours, you're grinding, you're doing everything the hustle culture playbook tells you to do, but the results? They just aren't matching the effort. It's an incredibly common frustration. But what if the entire equation we've been sold is just wrong?
Now check this out. This one simple but pretty provocative statement is the entire core of what we're exploring. It suggests that the energy we bring to our work matters way more than the sheer volume of it. The idea here is that a calm, centered mind can literally become a magnet for opportunity. So let's really challenge that conventional wisdom for a minute. We're told constantly that to get more, you have to do more. More calls, more projects, more hours. But what if the opposite is true? What if all that frantic, desperate energy actually repels the very things we say we want? Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Stillness? Come on, isn't that just a fancy excuse for inaction or just being lazy? And that's the most obvious, most important question to ask. It's a really critical distinction we need to make right now.
All right, let's dive into this, because this is the entire foundation of the idea. Stillness, in this context, has nothing to do with being passive or disengaged. It's about cultivating a very specific, and believe me, a very powerful kind of energy.
Just look at this comparison here. Laziness, well, it's aimless, it's passive, there's no real intention behind it. But stillness, that's fully intentional. It's a state of knowing the outcome you want and holding that energy with absolute certainty, without needing all that frantic effort. So the crucial point here is that stillness is absolutely full of intent. Think about the classic martial arts master you see in the movies. They aren't agitated or loud, are they? No, they're calm, they're centered, almost motionless. And that's because they are so confident in their own power, they know they've already won. That is the energy of stillness.
So how does this actually work in the real world? Let's use a really powerful metaphor to make it more concrete. I want you to think of your mind as a magnet. This will help explain the sort of physics of this whole attraction thing.
When your mind is chaotic, filled with worry, doubt, and that desperate need to make things happen, its energy is just scattered all over the place. Imagine a magnet where all the little internal molecules are pointing in random directions. It has no polarity, no drawing power. In fact, that chaotic energy can actually push opportunities away from you. But when you cultivate stillness, you're essentially aligning all those molecules in your mind. They all start pointing in the exact same direction. And this creates a coherent, powerful energetic field, a strong magnetic pole that doesn't need to chase a single thing. And this just illustrates the principle perfectly. A strong magnet doesn't run around chasing pieces of metal, does it? No, it just rests in its own power, and the metal is drawn to it. The idea is that a still, focused mind does the exact same thing with wealth and opportunities. Here's another really great analogy for this. A chaotic mind is like a jar of water that's just been shaken up. All the sediment is floating everywhere, the water is murky and totally unclear. You can't see through it at all. But when you just let the jar sit, the sediment naturally settles to the bottom. The water becomes crystal clear. That clarity, that is stillness.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, I get it. But how do you actually practice it? How do you get the water in your own mind to settle down? Well, the techniques are actually surprisingly simple.
So here are 3 simple ways you can start. First, your breath. It's your anchor to the present moment. Just focus on making it deep and long. See, short, shallow breathing tells your body you're anxious. Deep breathing signals calm. Second, use a simple mantra. Give your mind a single point of focus, like the word Buddho, or even just paying attention to the feeling of your breath. And third, use those empty moments in your day. Instead of instantly reaching for your phone while you're waiting in line or walking to your car, use that time to practice these simple techniques.
Now, this is a really, really important clarification. The goal is not to force your mind to be perfectly empty. That's almost impossible, and it just leads to a lot of frustration. The real goal is to simply give your mind one calm thing to hold on to, instead of letting it scatter in 100 different directions. And now for the final and honestly the most profound part of this whole practice. This is where you move from just doing simple exercises to achieving true mastery, applying this stillness when the world around you is anything but still. It's true, isn't it?
It is so easy to feel centered and peaceful when everything's going your way, when the money's flowing and the deadlines are met. But that's not the real test.
The real test is this. Can you maintain that inner calm when the bills are piling up and the pressure is on?
Can you hold your center when everyone around you is in a complete state of panic and urgency, demanding that you hurry up?
And here's the ultimate challenge. When you've done the work and the results haven't shown up yet, can you resist that powerful urge to panic and instead trust in that calm, magnetic power?
Because you see, the person who can achieve this becomes the calm in the storm. Instead of being tossed around by all the chaotic energy out there, you become the stable center that the world starts to organize itself around.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one simple truth. Your internal reality creates your external results. So maybe take a moment and look at your own inner state. Is it chaotic or is it still? And what kind of world is that energy creating for you?